Welcome to Picks with the Professor, a sports betting show brought to you by a real statistics professor and his friends. We have Jake joining us today to talk about some picks for Tuesday, April 15th. Normally, I would give you a rundown of how the previous day's picks have gone, but we are recording so early, we may have a Picks with the Professor record for earliest time that we are recording a baseball show. Hard to believe, but maybe we are getting more organized in our advanced age. We are starting to get a little bit more organized with all of this. So no recap on previous days' picks to give. But Jake, since you haven't been on in about a week or so, just want to ask you, do you have any thoughts, any opinions on maybe what you've seen in Major League Baseball for the past week or the season to date?
I don't know why, but it feels like it's a changing of the guard type year for me, at least pitching wise, because like everybody that I've kind of not grown up watching, but been used to watching over the last 10 years or so is just disappearing. Like Verlander looks like a shell of himself. Merrill Kelly's kind of going down. Like all these names that I'm used to seeing doing so well, and like Cease and all that, like they're just not. And you got new guys coming up and they're just absolutely killing it. So it's fun to see, but it just kind of feels like one of those years for me where it's pass the baton.
Yeah. Well, fun for you because the professor and I have already talked that the Braves are that team that just always finds some good young arm that's 24 years old and can throw 99 miles an hour with a hammer for a curveball. Maybe not as fun for those who don't have those new guys coming through like that. So yeah, I agree. And then take into account some of the injuries and stuff, some of the guys that just aren't pitching this season. So definitely does have it. It does not feel like the same old season so far is what I would say. So I think that's probably a good thing. So we'll get in. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, well, they're not bad. And in previous seasons, I would say the A's will always have a period of time where they're not going to be terrible. But it definitely seems like what they're doing might be a little bit more sustainable. So yeah, that's definitely an interesting thing to keep tabs on. So we will go ahead and start moving into our picks for Tuesday, April 15th. Just a couple of reminders for Sideline, the model that spits out these predictions. This is a player-based model, and so the ratings reflect the current roster. So the most recent one, Justin Steele, out for the season for the Cubs. So Sideline is always working with the most up-to-date rosters that there are. Average grade is 100. Higher implies more runs. Lower implies less runs. So you want your offenses to be high. You want your pitching to be low. We're projecting an average game, but in one game, anything can happen, and anything is a good bet at the right price or number. As you just alluded to, Jake, sometimes there are teams that we might think are may not be a good team, but if the price is right, we will still back them. I will say, just a little preview here, Sideline might recommend that you play the Rockies against the Dodgers on Tuesday. You will notice that is not an official pick. Sideline has an edge, but nobody is telling you to play that game. So sometimes you do have to take what Sideline says with a grain of salt. And if you're serious about sports betting, make sure to join us over on Dub Club's Honor Roll All Access package. Gets you access to Discord, which lots of good conversation and a lot of good picks being made over there by other cappers that are there. Projections, probabilities, and most importantly, price thresholds for Major League Baseball, NHL right now, NFL, college football in the fall, and detailed summary on every game. And if you want to join us, make sure that you use the link in the show description to get half off for your first month. So with all that being said, let's get into our picks for Tuesday. The first game that we are going to chat about is going to be the Mariners at the Reds. First pitch for this one, 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Luis Castillo for the Mariners going up against Nick Lodolo for the Reds. Two of the better pitchers on both of these staffs, definitely so with Lodolo. You could make an argument for Castillo there for sure. Just looking at how they match up here, this Mariners offense, not good for, the first 10 games of the season. good for the past 4 or 5 games, going up against the Reds, who have been bad the entire season on offense, except for maybe like 2 games. They had 2 games where they scored like over 10 runs, and then the rest they just haven't been able to get anything going in those games. And again, kind of mentioned starting pitching here, definitely a strength for both teams in this one. Relievers, Mariners, good as you would anticipate. Reds, not so great. All of that into being taken into consideration. Sideline has the Mariners winning this one 57% of the time. We're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about the total. And Jake, you thought that a good investment was taking the under 8 and current odds plus 105. So getting, that plus 105 on a under 8 is kind of rare. Why do you like that under 8 play here, Jake?
I think last time I was on, we were talking about Lodolo, and I'm a bigger fan of him than Sideline is. I think he's a very, very good young pitcher and is really going to help out the Reds if they can hold on to him. I mean, he's 27 years old. He's right there, right ready to go. And Luis Castillo is this Luis Castillo is a very good pitcher. I'm not sold on the other Luis Castillo that the Mariners have.
Yeah.
But the offenses are also both are below average, so that helps with not scoring runs, especially the relievers here for the Mariners. We keep that Reds offense down that's already struggling, except for those 2 games that they scored an absurd amount of runs and then can't score more than 1 after that. So the whole pitching staff there on the Mariners keep this Reds offense down that's already bad. Bottom 2 in the league here. So I don't see a way the Reds are going to do their part to get this total over 8. So it's all based on a mediocre Mariners offense taking advantage of the best pitcher. I don't see that happening. So I think we're going to be pretty safe with the plus money under here.
Yeah. And I agree with you on that. This is one of those things where if Sideline says there's an edge on an under in a Reds game, I'm playing it until they are able to turn it around offensively. Maybe that'll be next week. Maybe that'll be 2 months from now. I don't know. But I'm going to keep riding the Reds unders as long as Sideline says that there's an edge there. It's just kind of difficult to think them playing in that ballpark that they've had as many issues scoring runs as they have. So I'm like you though. Just a word to the wise: make sure you're looking at the right Luis Castillo when you're backing the Mariners there, because there is a little bit of difference. So just want to keep that in mind. So another reason that we like the under here is you'll notice the top couple of lines here references the weather. So yes, there is a breeze going out, but a lot of what makes Cincinnati a really hitter's park is that when it gets warm in the summer, that ball can go. First pitch here, 52 degrees, end of game, 50 degrees. It's going to be a cool night. It's kind of going to help tamp down the offenses there, adjusting the expected number of runs down by 4%. I also like they were getting plus odds there. That's kind of weird to get plus 105 on an under 8. Would you rather play under 8 at plus odds, or if you saw like an 8.5 at like minus 120? Which one of those would you probably be more apt to play?
I'm taking the plus odds because I want the bigger payday.
Okay,
I'll risk more than.
Yeah. I'm right there. I'm right there with you. I would rather take the plus odds, knowing that the Reds' offense has been terrible, as opposed to laying the extra juice for the 8.5. Of course, I'm talking to the guy that. What year was it that you picked the Kentucky Derby winner on like a huge long shot? What year was that?
Whatever that 80-1 hit.
Yeah. So I shouldn't have asked you that question. I should have known you would have wanted the plus odds. Jake is the horse whisperer, or at least was for one afternoon.
Fun fact: extremely allergic to horses.
So, really,
I can't get near them.
Well, as long as who cares? A winner's a winner if you're at the track or if you're sitting on your couch. It's all the same. So the second game that we're going to talk about is going to be the Royals at the Yankees. First pitch for this one, 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Michael Wacha, fellow Aggie, on the mound for the Royals, going up against Max Fried for the Yankees. Max Fried, you have a lot of experience with Max Fried. Still good. He's one of those guys who's like, it feels like he's never, according to Sideline or some of the other ratings, never breaks into the top 5, but never really goes lower than like 10 or 15. He's just a really, really good pitcher going up against Waka, who's middle of the road. His advanced metrics haven't been great the past couple of years, but he's managed to still pitch fairly well. Definitely, I would think Sideline's going to be a little bit lower on him than what others might be, because Sideline's kind of looking under the hood at everything. But of course, you look at the offenses here, and the Yankees, of course, torpedo bats or not, still the best offense according to Sideline in baseball right now, and the Royals not so much. They are not on the level of the Reds, but the Royals are churning through leadoff hitters like it's water because they can't find anybody that can get on base ahead of some of their good hitters. And so that is reflected in the price for this game. Sideline has the Yankees winning this 71% of the time, you don't really see Sideline giving out odds like that very often, but we are still going to be on the Yankees here. We're going to lay a run. So Yankees -1, the approximate odds that you could get there is -130. So Jake, why do you like the Yankees to win over the Royals here?
I think it's really the Max Fried. He's always a very, very top tier pitcher. He's always up there in that conversation, just on the outside of it, but up there. And he seems to be pitching very well this year. I mean, those last 2 starts have been incredible. Especially, how could you not be with that offense behind you? It let you be a little more aggressive on stuff, knowing that way they're swinging the bats, whether they're torpedo shaped or not. And then the Royals are just Everything about them are just and Waka especially. I mean, he's managed to outdo those underlying metrics, but how long does that last, especially against the Yankees offense in the Yankees park that it's set up, that's built for their offense, really. So I don't see the Royals putting up too much of a fight here. And I mean, the Yankees relievers are weak, but you'd have to have an offense to take advantage of that. And with the way Fried pitches, there's a good chance they don't really see the relievers. They might see them for like an inning or two. But I just really think the Yankees got this one in the
bag. And we may have answered my question there. Maybe Waka has been able to hold on because he's playing in the American League Central and gets to go up against, some of the not great offenses in the AL Central for quite a bit of his games. Yeah, I think the way that Waka gets outs is going to be less successful against a team like the Yankees than it is against some of the other teams on the schedule. And I'm just going to remind everybody, because I have to be reminded every time when we're saying Yankees -1, the way you get to that number is you bet to win a certain amount on the money line, and whatever that amount that you win on the money line, you turn around and also bet on the run line, and that's how you end up getting a Yankees -1. So just a reminder, who we might have some new viewers here, that's how you end up at the Yankees -1. And let me tell you, -1, great. Love a push. When you would lay the 1.5 on the run line and you lost by the 1 by 1, drive you crazy. It's worth paying a little extra juice to get the push at 1, in my opinion. And so the last game that we're going to talk about, because we had Jake here, we had to get him to talk about the Braves. The last game we're going to talk about, 7:07 p.m. first pitch, Braves at the Blue Jays. Our boy, or I don't know if it's our boy, my boy, Jake's boy, everybody's boy, Spencer Schwellenbach, for the Braves, going up against Sideline's boy, actually, Kevin Gausman. The starting pitching matchup is really all you need to know here. The Braves offense slowly coming around. 19th, still well below where you would expect them to be, but definitely have been playing better as of late. The Blue Jays offense hanging around where they've been all season, between number 10 and number 15. Both starting pitchers really good. Relievers, it's about a wash on this one. Both solid. Schwellenbach, what a terrible game he had last time. He gave up like 6 hits. He walked a guy. He only struck out 6 or 7. So bad compared to how he had done the rest of the season. So as you might expect in this one, fairly even. Sideline gives the Braves a 52% chance to win, but we're here to talk about the total. Right now, you can get 8 is the total that is set. And so we are going to go under 8 at -115. Jake, why do you like going under 8 with your Braves?
I mean, the starting pitching is easy. You've got two of the better guys going right now. Swallowbuck it's a great name and just fun to deal with, and just happens to be an incredible pitcher. Also, the Braves offense took a little bit of a hit. Ozuna's back in Miami or Atlanta, checking out some injuries. So you've got 4 guys in that lineup you're worried about. Everybody else, not. I mean, Michael Harris sometimes, but past that, I think they're all hitting 200 or less. So you've got a weaker lineup that the Braves can put out there right now, going against Gausman, who's been killing it. And I just really don't see where the runs are coming from. The Braves put up 8 last I looked against the Blue Jays, with a much weaker pitcher they're going against, and all the production was done in those top 4 guys. Nothing really in the back end. So I think there's a good chance that this one ends up 2-0, 3-0, whichever way it goes, and not just a very boring, fast baseball game.
Yep. You know what? This is one of those where they obviously they have a dome there in Toronto, and the reason why is first pitch 39 degrees here, which doesn't matter because the roof's closed. But it would be really cold if the roof were open. Of note, kind of to back up what you're saying there with the under, both offenses slightly worse against right-handed pitching than against left-handed pitching, and then to your point, Schwellenbach. I mean, he's only pitched 20 innings, and we know that ERA is not the end-all statistic, but his ERA is 0.45 on the season. His FIP is 2.34. His park neutral projection is 3.1. When you get pitchers down in the 3s in that park neutral projection, that's really good. He and Gausman are both in the 3s there, so a really, really good starting pitching matchup in this one. So that is all the picks that we have for your Tuesday, April 15th. Happy tax day to all who celebrate. Jake, do you have any parting words for our listeners and our viewers?
No, I've been in my cups lately with this whole Nico thing. It's just absolutely disheartening.
Yeah. I had the pest control come out today, and he had a friend from high school that went to Texas A&M, and he was like, "Oh, do you know such and such?" I was like, "Oh yeah, of course I know such and such. You're from Beaumont?" And then he continued to talk about, "Oh well, I had a cousin." I was like, "Oh yeah, he played at Oklahoma State." So yeah, I'm the wrong person to bring up college football with. I mean, you have to think this is just the beginning, right? I mean, how many more of these situations are we going to see? And obviously the quarterbacks are going to get the bulk of the attention, but what's going to happen when some, I don't know, second string wide receivers making $500,000 and somebody's like, you know what, I'll pay you $1 million. I think you're going to see a lot more of this. But I need your hot take. Would he be worth $4 million based on what he did last season? Okay. Okay. That's kind of what I think.
He average at best in the SEC, didn't break 300 yards all year. I don't know why you're going to double your salary being.
Well, I don't know if they're going to double his salary, but I bet somebody pays him more. And so it's going to be fascinating. It could be a slow motion train wreck. I don't know. But yeah, very, very interesting for sure. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Hope you enjoyed that 1 minute of college football there at the end of the baseball show. So hope you join us again tomorrow for more baseball picks. And until then, remember, you can eat your betting money, but please don't bet your eating money.